Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome to my channel guys. Great to be back with another video on map making guys. I hope you are all comfortable and doing well. Here by us going great as well. This video has been in the making or in the planning for a long time. I've just never had time to get around to it. There has been a lot of requests by you guys on the channel to make a video on how to make a custom water plane so that it fits your map perfectly, and especially now with Windows, with Giants or Farming Simulator 22 rather, with the changes that's come to the planes that very little people know about, is you can't have a water plane under your map anymore. Because if there's a water plane under a field and you want to plant grapes or olives there, it will tell you that there's something in the way. It's some problem that Giants don't know about it, or a little tick somewhere, or a piece of code that they haven't properly done, or something with the planes just makes it that you can't plant anything above it anymore. In Farming Simulator 19, it hasn't been a problem, never been a problem, but now it makes adding water planes much more difficult, or not difficult, more complicated. So we have to now have a look at this process, how to make a custom water plane like this so that it can fit your map perfectly, and have a nice river running, or a dam, or a lake, or whatever you want on there. Great, so that is what we're going to do today guys. And this will be a video for everyone, not just for my Patreons, so it will be for the whole community. And I want to just share this knowledge with you guys and how to do it. Great. So first of all, I just want to go to my attributes window, just make sure the river here, and then in my terrain editing, and then my window, my scene graph, I want to grow that. Let's get rid of the water river. So all of these we're going to manufacture now and show you how to do that. All right, so the very first thing guys that you want to do is zoom out your map totally like that, so you can see your whole map. Because if you have it zoomed in like this, what you see here is what you're going to export or see on the exported terrain in Blender. So we're going to use Blender obviously to do the make the plane and export it to Blender and import it back into editor. So what I want to say is just make sure that you can see your whole map. Doesn't matter, as long as you can see the whole map, that will be fine. Now first things first, go into file and then preferences, and check your scale here by save export as wavefront object. Make the scale 1. By default it is 100, so just make that 1 and click apply and click close, and then all is well. Then the next thing we want to do is go file, export selection. You first click on the terrain. You want to select your terrain. Make sure the terrain is selected. Go file, export selection, and then on your desktop somewhere, or wherever you want, you can create a folder. Make a folder for this, or let me just make a folder. I'm going to just call this water, just water for now. That should be fine. And then create a name for this water, like that. And then make save as type. Just click on there and make it a wavefront object like that, and click save. Great. And now that we're done there, you can close the map. So I'm just going to close the map like so. Oh, don't close the map. This takes quite a while guys. You'll see it says exporting. It can take up to 2 to 5 minutes depending on the size of your computer. So don't click anything else. Just wait for it. Once you've clicked export there, just wait for it. Alrighty guys, now that it's exported, we can close the map, and there is our water object. Now the next thing to do is open Blender. If you don't have Blender, you can just Google and download Blender from the internet. It's for free. And then once you've got that, make sure once it opens up, you press escape once. Make sure you have the Blender export tool. If you don't have the Blender export tool, you can just go into your browser. Don't worry about that. Type in GDN or GDN. Oh my word, what's happening here? I'm pressing buttons and nothing's happening. It's GDN, guys. Search for that, and it will pop up with Giants Developer Network. Log in if you don't have an account, create one. Go to the Downloads tab, and in there by the exporters, choose the Export 901 tool. Download that. Double click it, it should install it automatically for you, and it should come land in your Blender automatically. Alright, if not, just Google a bit on Blender export tool for help and whatever, get it working, and then all should be fine. One change, a big change on the Blender export tool, it does not have the file export i3D in here anymore. For some reason, I don't know why. And another tip, guys, if you download Blender, do not go higher than 2.93.8, the version. So you're going to have to download older versions, because Giants is behind. They are slack, these guys, so they don't update this stuff. So the export tool doesn't work on versions later than that. So go for 2.9, something in the 2.9 ranges. Download one of those, and you should be all right. Okay, so yes, now the tip, guys, I can give you is don't click around in the screen. Just follow step by step what I'm going to do, and then I think all should be well. All right, so first thing, you've got the once you open Blender, you get this normal cube thingy kemabob always there. So you press A on your keyboard, and it will select all here in the scene graph. You press delete, and it will delete everything. All right, so that's the first thing you do. The next thing is we want to go File, Import. Don't go Open, you go Import, and then Wavefront. And then obviously you go to the place where you've saved your water plane. I've put mine under water on the desktop, and there it is. Okay, and now the same thing again. Don't click anything, guys. If you see that square little block, just leave it. It's going to take a while to import that water plane. So hang on, don't be in a hurry. All will be well. Just hang on, wait for it. It shouldn't take too long. The import doesn't take as long as the export for some reason. There it is. Once it's popped up there in your scene collection here, you can select it, and then there's one thing that we need to do. You have to come here to this little down arrow. Just click there. Shading, no, it's not there. It is under, where is that? Oh, you click on this little arrow here, or you press the N button. It will open this menu, and then we want to go to View. You want to go View, and then focal length at the end section. Click in there and make that selection 10,000. All right, like so. There you go. And now once you've done that, you can roll your scroll wheel backwards to zoom out, and you will have your terrain. All right, so there's our terrain now exported. Oh, this is not your terrain, guys. It's just a plane. So don't get confused. You cannot modify this thing and call it a terrain, because the Giant's terrain has got so many layers and things connected to it. Do not think that you can modify this to be a terrain. So yeah, it's just a plane that we've exported. In fact, it's just a layer of material. If you look at the material here, it's called default object material. All right, so don't be too fussed about it. Just leave it as is. The next thing we want to do is we want to create a new plane. All right, so we have everything as is. Just don't click too much, like I say. So what you want to do is you want to click Add Mesh Plane, just like that. Now the second or the next thing we want to do is press the or don't press. I'm going to try and stay away from the keyboard controls, because sometimes the keyboard controls can be confusing. So just go View, and then go to Viewpoint, and then we want to view this from the front. All right, so there you go. So this little plane that we have here now, we want to move that just above the height of the actual plane that's in there, or this plane that we have selected or exported, the terrain thingamabob. Right, so I have the plane selected, and then here by this gizmo, this little circly thing with the arrow going out. Click next to that. Go here to move. It will give you the move windows or the handles. So pull that up, drag that. You'll see the dot goes up just above the ground level and leave it. Alright, so there we are now above ground level and all is happy. Now on your view again, you want to go view, viewpoint, top. If you press keyboard 7 or numpad 7, it does the same thing. Alright, so now we have that selected. Alright, so still on the plane, we're going to now work on this plane instead of the bottom one. So forget about the bottom one now, guys. So we have the plane, and we're actually going to edit this mask here on this plane. Alright. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to go to object mode, change that to edit mode. Alright. And then you want to zoom in very close, like that. So you have the whole little block selected. Right, guys, so now with that block in view, you drag select, left mouse button, drag select over that top right vertex. It will select it. Then you press Control and I. It will invert the selection. It will select the other three. And then you just press the X button. And when it brings up the delete menu, you select vertices. All right. And then it will leave you with that one little vertex there. With that one in mind, we're going to right click. We want to go now back to change the mode first before we right click. So go out of edit mode to object mode and then right click, and then you want to set the origin to geometry. So click on that. So now we've put our origin on that vertex. All right. Now to move around, guys, on your map, you can now zoom out again, just with your scroll wheel. Now to zoom or to move around, you hold your shift button and then click your middle button and click and drag. You'll be able to move the screen around. But we want to always stay with the top view. So if you lose top view, for instance, like you've done that, do not do any of this. Always press the 7 button on your num keypad like that. It will northern your map. It will make it north, and it will also give you a top view. All right. Or you can go view, viewpoint top. Same. There's numpad 7 and new front view. All your views is here under the numpad settings. All right. So what we want to do now, with this top view in mind, we want to start somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start, but you're going to drag that little vertex now with the X and Y up to there, for instance, and then hold shift and then middle mouse button, drag so you can get there wherever you want to start, and then just center your screen nicely so you can have that there. You can put your mouse here over this play thing here at the bottom, and then just give yourselves a bit more desktop space if you need. Alright, so from here on, guys, what we need to do now is start going back here to edit mode. So on top again, edit mode, and make sure you've got the next one selected here, vertex select. Alright, and then we're going to drag and drop the vertex again, or drag is block select or drag select, whatever you want to call it. Drag select over it so it selects it. You press the E button, and now, guys, it is just a matter of click where you want to place it, press the E again, click, and in this case we're going to just go off the map, press E. Oopsie. See, now I've clicked on the outside and it popped it there. So if you want to re-grab it, just press the G button for G for game or whatever, G, and then just bring it out, drop it, E for echo, and just carry on like that. Now you'll notice another thing that I need to tell you or share with you, a tip, is if you have your cursor here, the moment you press E, it will work from this spot, but it will move here, which is quite frustrating sometimes. So it's best to have your cursor here in this white circle, then press E. Then you'll always have the cursor and the little node thingamabob, or the vertex, next to each other. Because if I have it there and I press E, you'll see they are not synchronized or whatever, you know. So yeah, just a tip there, guys. So I'm going to zoom out a bit more, and then I'm going to try and quickly do this, so we don't want to spend too much time. And what you want to do, guys, obviously is go a bit wider than the river, but don't go too wide. It's always good to not spend too much space on the map, because otherwise, like I said earlier on, you're going to definitely run into a problem with the vineyards and the olive trees and all those kind of things. Once again, just off the map for my water plane, and I'm just going quick here, guys, just for the video's sake, not to waste your time. It's just a matter of making this thing fit this river, you know. Obviously now you can come in closer and make it really nice on the edge of the river, but for the purpose of the video, you see now, press G, come close, and then your last one, guys, when you come close to your last one, click there, and then you zoom in there where you are, so you can come nice and close. So once you're nice and close, the last thing that you want to do is to merge. You want to now merge this two. It's like your splines on the vehicles and the pedestrians, guys. So you want to go here to the top. Let's first put on the snap mode. You click the little magnet, and next to it select vertex, because we're working with the vertexes, so we want to snap the vertexes. And then here is the XYZ, and then next to it is like a planetary system. You click on that. That's the auto merge vertex function, which is new to Blender. And then all you do is press the E button, but come in nice and close. I'm actually still too far, you know, so I'm going to just zoom in a bit more. Press the E button, and you'll see now it will snap onto that last vertex like that. And once you have it nicely snapped onto it, just place it and all is fine. Great. Now we can zoom out again. Okay, excellent, excellent. Now the next thing, guys, we want to do is we want to select all the vertices, not just the one. So you're going to press A to select all, and then you're going to press F for Foxtrot. It will fill the vertex like so. All right. So the next thing we want to do is do the backface culling. So while you have it all selected like that, you want to go to, I think it is object mode again. Yeah, you want to select object mode. Make sure this little ball is selected here. It's called viewpoint shading. And then while you're there, on the down drop arrow, click there, and there's a thing called backface culling. So if you click this, and your vertex or your full looks like mine, it's transparent. So if I now use my middle mouse button and I look at it from underneath, you'll see it is the way it should be. So it's inverted. Alright, so if yours is like this, leave it alone. Just skip the next step that I'm going to show. Then all should be well. Make sure I am on the plane there. And then edit mode, like so. And then select this last screen here that says face select. And then you want to go shift and N for November. And then here at the bottom it will pop up recalculate normal. So click on there and then just click on the inside button like so. Alright, so that is all you need to do, guys. Once you've done that, if you now flip it around, you'll see that the normals has been recalculated and all is well. And now we can go back to object mode, not edit mode. And you'll see it has now been recalculated and inverted, or whatever you want to call it. Great. So guys, now the next thing we want to do is, now that we have that all selected, the back face culling. I just want to check if I have that still up here. Yeah, it is selected. That's all done. So the next thing is, while that is on object mode, let's just make sure object mode, that is selected. Press the 7 button to view from top. Zoom out a little bit, and then we want to just bring this back into, so we set our origin. So you right click, origin to geometry, like so, and all is well, guys. That should be our whole plane now created. So now what we can do now is you click on the water. We want to hide the water now, so we don't want to see that. We just want to see this plane that we've created. I call it water. I don't know why I call it water. It's actually terrain. For some reason I've called it water. But anyway, so the next step obviously is to add some material to this. We want to add a water material, guys. So on this little scene collection thing here, go down here to material properties. It's a little ball. So you click on that. Click on plane on top. And then here by this little ball, don't click on the plus. Just click on the down arrow. Click on the material one, not the default. Click on material. So we give the plane a material called material. Alright. So double click that and call it water underscore matte. That's the same as in Giant's editor. So and enter. Alright. So we click on that. The next thing to do, your plane here on top, double click on that and call it water plane. Water plane, like that. And enter. Alright, so now that we have that all done, we've given it a material called water matte. That should all be fine. You don't change anything else, guys, because if you change anything else, it might not work, and the editor stuff might not just be where it is or how it should be or whatever. Alright, so now that we've got that, go back to your water plane, select that. Now we're going to export it back out as an i3D. So like I said earlier, the export is not here anymore. It is now here on this little side window. So you click on that, and then right at the bottom at output file, you want to go to the output file and unselect the use Blender file name. Click on the little box for the file, and then go into either your map or another folder. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go onto my desktop, onto the same folder where I had the water, just put it in there, and I'm going to give it a name here at the bottom called water, like that, and then plane, just like that. Alright, and then I'm going to enter that. Alright, and then I'm going to click on set i3D. Alright, so there it is now. It's going to now export that. Very important, guys. Make sure the water is selected, and you want to click export selected. Don't export all, just go export selected. If you go export all, it's going to do the whole scene and selection and everything. It's going to be a big mess. So just make sure that you are going to go export selected. Alright, just like that. Let me just have a quick browse. All seems fine. I'm on the export tab, so there we go. Just click on that, and it should say success, export time, whatever. So once you've done that, you can now just minimize Blender and go to your folder where you've done that. Place that little thingamabobby. Where's my desktop? There's my desktop. Sorry. Water. Here we go. Water plane. Now the water plane, we're going to open that now in the normal editor. Just want to see if I still got my map open here. Looks like I still got my map open. Oh no, it isn't. Don't want to have too many things open, because with these things rather work on one at a time, and all should be well. So for now I'm finished with Blender. I'm going to just wait until this water opens, and then I'm going to close my Blender. Don't save the project. You can save your project. In my case, I'm not going to be fussed. Alright, so here's your water plane. You select it, press F to view it, and you'll immediately notice it doesn't look like water. So don't be fussed or worried. We're going to sort that out just now. Don't change anything on the scaling here, because it's set to be imported as is right into your map, and it will fit. Except for, remember, we pulled this plane above the above the terrain, so it will be a little bit above. So we'll just slowly pull it down to make it fit. We're going to have to pull it down to make it fit anyway, you know, because you want it to fit your river. And remember, we've made it a tiny bit bigger than the river. Alright, so now with the water plane selected, we need to do a few things to this water plane. Attributes, terrain editing. So we want to open our user attributes window, and these are user attributes. And the next thing we want to do is open our materials editing. That's the next thing. So there's our materials editing. So the first thing is we need to make this water usable. So the first thing, under your attributes window, go down to where it says rigid body. Tick the rigid body, go to the top, select rigid body, and then make sure it's static, make sure collision is on. That's all you need to do, guys. Don't change anything else. And here where it says collision mask, click on the 3 dots, click on the clear button, click on 31, click on OK. Excellent. So it will pull this mask in there, which makes it water usable in game. If you don't do this step, the water will not be usable. You won't be able to swim in it, and you won't be able to pull it with draw water from this river with a tractor and a cart or a pipe or a pump or whatever, you know. So yeah, this makes the water usable. The next thing you want to do is have the water plane selected. Obviously, we want to now sort out the material side of things. Let me just go down here. It needs a bump, a normal map. I just want to make this a bit bigger so it's nice and visible. Here we go. That looks much better. I can see. Alright, by normal map, guys, under the material editing. If you don't have material editing, you can just go window, material editing, and you'll pop up here, or wherever it pops up. Just go there and look for the thing that says normal map. Click on the 3 dots, and then on the 3 dots again here by file name. And then you go to your Farming Simulator 22 installation directory. Mine is under Steam Maps, Farming Simulator 22. You go to Data, Maps, Textures, Shared. Alright, so it's Data, Maps, Textures, Shared. And then go to the bottom and find waternormal.dds and double click it. So it will pop water normal in for you here. Now what this normal map does, it gives your water texture. In other words, like a little bumps and heaps and whatever it puts on the water, so it's not flat and glossy, you know. That's what the normal map does. Alright. The smoothness and metalness you can play around with. The in-game one is set at 1 and metalness is 1. Alright. So play around with what you feel like. 0.5, whatever you can just see what works for you, you know. Whatever you whatever you feel like how it wants to look, it will look nice. Alright, or you can leave it at 0 also, but then it will be less. So that's just how it is. So play around with that. The next thing to do is add a shader to it. So we need the ocean shader added to this. Click on the little down arrow on this little square box next to the X, the red X. There's a square box. Click there. Same drill, guys, into your Farming Simulator game installation directory. This time you go back to Data, and then you go to, oh yeah, it is under shaders, sorry, Data, Shaders, and then find the ocean shader. There it is. Double click it and it will pop it in here, and immediately you'll see the shader has been added and a lot of things has changed here. Now the easiest and Jippo way of getting the bumps to display is just go here by variation and go simple, and it all should be well from there on. Alright, but now you'll see the bumps is there, but it's still very dark and gloomy. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. So first of all, save the i3D here, close up the i3D, then right click the i3D. This is your exported one that you've now busy working on. So open with Notepad++. So once we're in there, it's waiting for it to open. Phew, this thing is taking long. Why is it taking so long? There you go. Alright, so our water material needs some some glossy things here, some reflections and whatever. So we're going to pull that out of the in-game map. So back into Farming Simulator 22, open in a new window, data, maps. You can pick any map, doesn't matter. I'm going to use the Alpine one for example. Go map i3D, right click, open with Notepad++. Great, and then we wait. Wait. I'm already in there. Okay, Control F, search. So the first thing we want to look for is water material. Okay, find next, and there it is. So just find your water material. It will say water mat. All right, and then the very under the normal map, we have selected the normal map, but right under that there's two reflection map and the refraction map. So we want that too. So you copy that 2 lines, go into your water plane i3D, and in the same spot, enter home, Control and V. Just drop that in there and make that nice. Save the i3D, and that is now done. So now we can go into our i3D and just open that up again and see the differences that's happened. Great. It should be up in a second. Here we go. Select the water plane, press F, and there it is. It's still a bit untransparent, but what you can do is you can come here to the shader, select the simple to none, and just leave it like that. And then while we're in game, you'll see the difference of the water. All right, so just don't put it on simple, leave it like that, save it, and let's close up. Now we're gonna, once we've saved that and everything, we're going to grab this water folder. I just want to grab the whole water folder, Control X, go into my map. So you open your map up, find a place where you want to put the water. I'm just going to go put underwater. Control V, I've got it in here. That one I can delete. Oh no, let me leave that one, because this is the one I've been training on or playing with. Let me import this one. Alright. And then we go into the map. Open your map i3D. And there's still a little bit of attributes that we have to add to the water. And then we are all done. So now we're going to actually bring our handiwork into the map. Great. So once this is open, slowly but surely, guys. One thing I forgot to mention, guys. So if you open that water on its own, go. Sorry, not data. It's under placeables, water. If you open this water on its own for the first time, and it gives you, always check for errors, guys. Very important. Let's do that quickly. If it gives you any errors, check your console for errors. But if there isn't any errors, then it's fine. I'm sure the exporting on Blender these days is fairly good, so I haven't seen any problems. But if you do have errors like the triangles or something is not right, or whatever type of error you have there, console, let's just open that up and see. You see there's no errors. Okay, but if you do have errors, just select your water plane, go File, go Export Selection. Alright, and then you choose the same thing, the same file, mods, tiny meadow, maps, placeables, water. Take the same plane, like the same file, overwrite it. Sorry, say no, cancel. Before you go, save as type. I almost forgot. Go to binary R3Ds, click that, and click save and overwrite. That will fix all your problems. It will remake your shapes file and everything, and all should be well. Alright, so just in case it gives you any errors, I can delete that now. We're done with it. Good. So now that you're in the map, we're going to go File. Let's first create a transform group for us, and the transform group we're going to call water planes. Water like that, planes, water lanes, water planes, man, like so. So there it is. Oh, I've got one already. I didn't see that. And then we're going to select it, and then File, Import, Farming Simulator 22 mods tiny meadow, maps, data. I keep on going to the data for some reason. Water, that's the new one that we've done. And you'll immediately see when you've pulled that in, it will pull that water plane above the terrain. Okay, so now what you can do is just come to close to your river and keep that thing in mind in the back there, the little thing, and then just drop your water into position. That process I'm sure everyone is fairly familiar with. And look at how nice your water looks now. And now if you want to, you can now play around with your water material here by the custom shader. You can fiddle around up to your heart's content with the underwater fog. And if you do the variation now, if you make it simple, you'll get this glossy finish on top, which looks fairly nice, I must say. If you now press the play button, you'll also get the effects. Yeah, I must say that looks fairly nice. I quite enjoy that. It's just not see-through enough, so you can now play around with your planes, the underwater fog color, make that a little bit different color. Like for instance, if you go, let me set this to 1, for instance, like that, and maybe this one to 1.2, and this last one to 2 as well. Let's have a look what it looks like. 0.5. No, that's too blue. 0.3 maybe. You can fiddle around with that, guys. Bump speed scale, you can change that to maybe 0.6. Fiddle around, maybe get that 2. And to your heart's content, guys, just have a play around until you're happy with the watercolor and everything looks the way you like it, Or if you don't like this effect of the gloss on top, you can just go to none, and you'll have this amazing see-through water like in the normal Giants maps, the see-through water, which is still water. It's working like water, and it is water. Good. I've made it very dark now, but anyways, you can play around with the colors yourself. So we want to take this water plane, cut it, and drop it in our water plane folder, or whatever we want to call it, transform. I'm just going to call this river for now, because it's a river water, that one. So I'll just call this river, like so. And there you go, guys. We've got our water. Now we need to put some attributes to this water to actually make it seem like water in the game. So the next thing we want to do is back into our, keep this in the editor. What is not, we don't want that. We want now the new one. Sorry, I've got the new one. It's now in my maps folder. So I've moved it. Let's open that. All right. So what we want to do is, sorry, we don't need this anymore. We finished with that. We want to work here in our map i3D. So we want to go into Tiny Meadow, your map, open your i3D, right click, open with Notepad++. So now you have the in-game map as well as your map, both of them. All right, so the first thing you want to search for is Control F once again. And we want to go for water plane. You want to search for water plane. And when you get to the water plane, you'll see this is now the in-game map. You want to find the first water plane. It's water plane river, and you find the node ID for it. Just select the node ID, copy, Control C, go in here, Control V, paste it in there, and click Find Next. That will take you to that water plane's attribute. So there's 2 attributes for water. The is main water makes it the main water plane. And this water plane that you select as main water, you can have 20 water planes, but only one of them should be main water, because the one that's main water, you want the one that is main water to be the one that is lowest on your map. So the lowest water on your map must be the main water one. All right, not the highest, the lowest. If you put the highest one on the height of that water plane, everywhere on your map, if you go with the vehicle below the level of that water plane, doesn't matter if you're on the other side of the map, even if there's no water plane there, you might get a warning that says don't drive too deep in the water, you know. So that is stuff that has happened in the past. Don't know if they fixed that type of things, but yeah, just a warning or a tip there, guys. So the next thing you want to do is look at the first attribute. We're going to first add the is main water to our water. So double click the is main water, press Ctrl and C. Make note of the type, it's a Boolean. So we're going to go into our map. On the river, we're going to go attributes. So you're going to go user attributes here. On the name, you press Ctrl and V, and then make sure Boolean is selected. Click add, and it will add the attribute. Alright, and then we can tick it to select it to be main water. Now the next one, back into the editor or into the Notepad++. The next one is an on create, so we double click there, Control C, and make a note, it's script callback, so we're going back in the editor. So paste here by the name and drop down to script callback. So it's going to create an on create script callback, and we're going to add it, and there it is. But now we need to know what script it needs to run. So back into here, the script's name is environment.onCreateWater. Alright, so that it is. Go back into the editor, just paste the name in there, and all is done. Now your water is selected, it's added to your map, and you've got real water. And the nice thing about it is it's a customized water specifically for your map. Looks like that. Very beautiful. I think it came out nice, guys. Well, guys, I hope you have enjoyed that as much as I have. And can't quickly think of anything else that I need to share with you. I think we've covered all the bases. There is, if I look at the main maps, guys, there is a water planes mirror. Now, to create a water planes mirror, you just duplicate the river and switch off the rigid body. So the mirror doesn't have a rigid body. That's the only difference between the two. And if you go into the water planes mirror, the water planes mirror has got the variation set to simple, where your main water is not simple, it is on none. So I don't know why there's a difference, and I honestly can't understand what the mirror does. I couldn't find any effect of the mirror. So yeah, if there's anyone out there, maybe you can shed some light for us on what does a mirror do. Anyways, guys, you take care, have a wonderful day. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.